here's a quick guide on how to search items and filter down to specific gear sets. This is my weak water storage, which contains all of my PvE gear, or healing, DPS and tanking. So I want to take my healing gear set out. So for that, I want to filter just for strings that contain only things that are in the healing set. So a quick copy paste will bring me this. So what I've done here is I've got Empress, which brings up all of these. And then I've got Infused, which is this one. This is the only piece of infused gear I have, and it's of the Sage. Like my Angry Earth healing set is a bit more complicated because it clashes with other items. So you can see at the top here we've got some additional features, specifically using the subtract and the plus. And these have certain effects. You'll also note that every single one of my filters has 625 on the end. This means that it will only ever show 625 gear score items. So let's start from scratch on building this string out so people understand how to limit it just to these specific items. So we'll close that off. My Angry Earth healing gear is mostly profane armor. So just typing profane will bring up this, but it also brings up this random item. So what we do is we stick 625 on just to show how that functions. That deletes that off. Now what we've got here is this is a piece of ancient ward gear. So what we can do, I know every single piece of my gear is also of the Sage. So if I put profane, if I just write Sage, what it'll do now is it'll be everything with profane or everything with Sage. That is also 625. However, if I put a plus, this means it must contain the word Sage. So it's profane and Sage as a single string. Now if I now add the chest piece in, which is immemorial, so just the 3 characters IMM should be enough. You notice it adds it, so now it's profane and Sage, or immemorial and Sage. So that gets us part of the way there. I've also got a piece of Shadewalker gear. And we'll see here that what it's done is it's brought in 2 pieces. Now one of these is for Lost Ward, and this is the piece that I want. So we've actually got the full set on show now, but we want to get rid of this. So now I can put a negative. So we can get rid of the hand wraps. So we can just put minus hand, and it will ignore, type that in, and it will then ignore everything that contains hand in the string. So it's profane, must have Sage, cannot have hand. Immemorial, must be Sage, can't be a hand. Shadewalker, must be Sage, can't be hand. And they all must be 625. So once you start understanding that that's how that works, you can then copy paste this into a little notepad file, save it, and then every time you go to your storage you can search it all out. This also works perfectly well on this side, so if you're in a dungeon, like for instance this is Angry Earth, and if I was doing barnacles, I could swap quite quickly to this by just putting this text string in here and then just swapping my armor over. There are some other examples just for completeness sake. So like my Lost Ward gear is this shortcut. I'll just show you. So this is with all of the gear. So it shows it's quite reasonable to make strings. So this is the same thing. Not all of it's perfect, but hey. So I've got Fortified Sacred Ground, medium chest piece, and it's all isolated despite everything in there. Just makes life a lot easier handling all this junk. It would certainly be better if there was gear sets though, because it doesn't solve the issue of having to respec or swapping weapons and additional things. But